Here's an example of a problem that the current structure of Titus Mountain's freestyle terrain creates. In this example, we have 3 riders. All 3 riders are different skill levels. They all have the hope of utilizing Titus Mountain's freestyle terrain in accordance with their ability. One rider is an aggressive and skilled rider. He is following the rules posted above the freestyle terrain. The other 2 riders are casual, beginner to intermediate level riders. For whatever reason, they have chosen to ignore the freestyle terrain rules. You may ask, what freestyle terrain rules? This is a fair question considering they are only posted at one place throughout the freestyle terrain. These are the freestyle terrain rules posted at Titus Mountain. They are the same rules that are posted at hundreds of ski resorts across the country. Many casual riders assume they are a disclaimer or warning of some kind. This causes them to overlook their importance. The freestyle terrain rules are rules that aggressive riders live by to keep themselves safe while using very dangerous freestyle terrain. Throughout this example, the casual riders ignore many of the key rules outlined in the sign above the terrain park. The first example of rules being ignored occurs immediately as the 2 casual riders enter the freestyle terrain. The casual riders never call a drop-in. By using a random entry point to access the freestyle terrain, it is obvious that the casual riders never have an opportunity to announce they are dropping in. This is a rule that keeps riders from attempting to drop at the same time and ensures that all riders are aware of what one another is planning on doing throughout the freestyle terrain. The riders wrongfully utilize a feature zone. Since the riders choose a random entry point to enter the freestyle terrain, they enter in the landing zone of another jump, and they have made themselves blind to any rider who is using the freestyle terrain. The riders do not have a plan, and they have not checked themselves or familiarized themselves with their surroundings. The fact that the casual riders are oblivious to the existence of another rider flying through the air behind them with the intention of landing at high speeds in their entry area off a jump directly behind them shows that they have not accurately assessed the terrain area and are not familiar with the function of the park. As the situation continues to play out, the aggressive rider notices that the casual riders are in his path after he has already landed at a high speed. At this point, the aggressive rider has a choice: assess the situation and either continue with his original plan or recognize dangers and create a plan to abort. The aggressive rider recognizes that the 2 casual riders on the course with him are carrying very little speed and will not be utilizing the large freestyle terrain. The casual riders are completely oblivious to the aggressive rider. They still don't check themselves or their surroundings. They just casually approach the large freestyle terrain feature. At this point, the aggressive rider has entered the first freestyle terrain zone, the approach zone. In this zone, it is the rider's obligation to set up his stance and speed so that he can safely and correctly utilize freestyle terrain. Since a rider needs to commit to having a lot of speed for this large feature, there is no turning back for him. The casual rider is still completely under control. She is riding at a very slow speed and still failing to check herself or recognize her surroundings at all. Let's see what happens next. Luckily, it was the casual rider's plan to utilize this large designation of freestyle feature as a small or easy feature. Otherwise, she could have caused an extremely serious accident for both her and the aggressive rider. Unfortunately, if an accident had occurred, even though we've pointed out the casual rider's total ignorance of the freestyle terrain rules, the aggressive rider would have most likely endured a majority of the blame. It's pretty obvious to see that he was trying a very dangerous inverted aerial maneuver while a mother and child simply carved down the mountain. This is where the title of the video becomes relevant. A family-friendly 40-foot jump does not mean a 40-foot jump for the whole family. Because let's go on and hear the most disturbing part of this clip. The mother has just brought her child over a 40-foot freestyle jump and stopped directly on the landing zone and is asking where the rider flying through the air came from. Well, he came from that 40-foot jump that you just rode over. Let's reach to representatives at Bear Mountain Resort in Big Bear, California for comment.
Figure out what this guy's doing. Hey sir, how's it going? We see you're standing out here on the landing of the jump. Do you know what you're doing out here? Yeah, I figured that much. You know, people are trying to go off of this and we see you standing out here on the knuckle. Do you know why you're out here? Yeah, I figured that much. How about this? Why don't you look behind you and see what's going on? That right there, we call that a takeoff, buddy. Do you know what a takeoff's for? Yeah, it's for going off this jump right here. So I got an idea. Why don't you be safe to yourself and be safe to the people around you and get off this jump?